Welcome back. We're taking a deeper dive into the ongoing issue of asylum seekers and refugees here in Western New York. It's an issue that has a lot of different opinions and several sides to it. Now, according to the UN Refugee Agency, more than 110 million individuals have been forcibly displaced worldwide as a result of the persecution, conflict, violence, or human rights violations. The U.S. is currently witnessing the highest levels of displacement on record. And over the summer, more than 500 asylum seekers made their way to Western New York from New York City. And that is just a fraction of the people who come to Western New York as refugees seeking better lives. Now, that's why tonight I wanted to show you the impact the refugee community has on our community as a whole. 7 News is a voice for everyone, so I spoke with the organizations that place refugees in homes and help them start their own businesses. A refugee who is now helping other refugees find their feet in Western New York, and a business owner whose restaurant is taking off in the heart of downtown Buffalo. In the food hall of the downtown Buffalo Bazaar is a woman who runs a show of the Abyssinia Ethiopian cuisine restaurant. I caught up with the Ethiopian native Zelalem Gameda, who has the hustle and grit of an entrepreneur. It's something that she learned at a refugee camp in Yemen while fleeing her native land due to political issues.
There is no any means to get income. I was thinking to provide for the campers to sell injera and spices, and that's how I start business.
After moving to Buffalo in 2005, Gameda studied general science and graduated with a liberal arts degree from the Erie County Community College, and eventually started her own business through the Buffalo Bazaar.
I wanted to bring my experience from Yemen to Buffalo, and until I get Weedy, it was so difficult for me to open a restaurant. And when I met the first time Weedy, they make it easier for us by facilitating all these business ideas and support. So that's how we start business.
10 years later, Zelalem Gameda has been able to solidify her restaurant at a new location here at the downtown Buffalo Bazaar. She's just one of the many success stories that have come out of Weedy.
Immigrants and refugees are reclaiming neighborhoods that were, pretty much abandoned at one point. They're just, lightening up the city and adding real value. The thing that they're really adding value about, though, is making Buffalo a cultural hub. And that's what the West Side Bazaar has become, a community hub.
Aaron St. John Kelly is Weedy's External Relations Director. The group helps create equity in Buffalo's underserved neighborhoods so everyone can thrive. The way that they get to that is through education. There are 2 pillars. One of them is education for English language learners in grades 1 through 12. The other pillar is economic development through technical assistance and loans.
We give loans of $500 to $20,000 to people who have no, low, or bad credit. And often people have 0 credit because they're immigrants or refugees. But we also serve anyone who qualifies for our help economically.
Kelly says 85% of Weedy's business that it is a microlender for are minority owned and 60% are women owned.
We like to make sure people leave us better than they came. And so you have a constant connection with that person to help. And we also have mentoring and volunteering and all kinds of webinars and what we call technical assistance for people, like how to make a business plan, how to hire somebody, how to get licensing. We have a legal clinic.
Entrepreneurship is just one way refugees and immigrants contribute to the Western New York community. And the road from resettlement to becoming a long-term citizen can be a long one. Once refugees are assigned an American city to live in, the journey starts with a 90-day integration period. This can be anywhere from picking up the family from the airport to bringing them to permanent or temporary housing and assisting them in getting their first medicals done.
Helping children enroll in school, getting benefits set up for them, teaching them how to use the bus, where are the grocery stores, opening up a bank account. The reality is that everybody needs more than 90 days, right? I can't imagine what it would be like to leave my home for however many number of years, living in a refugee camp or as a refugee, getting permanently resettled, and then expected to, be on my feet within 90 days.
Journey's End CEO Karen Andolina Scott says when clients come together to their location at the Tri-Main Center, they each have a unique and individual need.
Refugees come from all different walks of life, right? We have refugees who were professionals back home. We have refugees who are entrepreneurs or inventors or teachers. You know, refugees are all people. And so when they start their new lives here, many of them are looking to do the same.
Once the 90 days are up, refugees are then placed in housing and in most cases have their kids enrolled in school and have landed a job with the help of Journey's End. Siti Khadija Abdul Salam is the Refugee School Impact Program Assistant for Journey's End.
Based on my personal experiences, my mom, she was the breadwinner in my family. Even though she was not educated, she wanted us to have at least something that we can bring up and that we can build our own future.
Salam came to the U.S. from Rakhine State, Myanmar, after a genocide forced her and her family out. In November 2015, her first stop was in Utica, where she had a U.S. tie. In July 2019, her family moved to Buffalo. She tells me her mother emphasized the importance of getting an education. Now, after receiving her degree from Buffalo State, she's able to give back by helping incoming refugees through Journey's End.
I want refugees out there, especially children, to have fun, learning something new, learning new culture, especially the language, because English is the universal language.
From an economic standpoint, we do see that within that generation, they're making that positive impact. And that doesn't even include, right, the food, the language, the dancing, the clothes, all of the cultural benefits that they are bringing to a place like Western New York.
And with the support from the community near and far.
When you come here, you see all kinds of people who you wouldn't necessarily see in Buffalo. You know, truck drivers, foodies, hipsters, people searching for taste from home, college professors, everybody's here getting some food.
Refugees and immigrants are able to continue to thrive with the help of agencies, consumers, and through perseverance and ambition.
We get a lot of support, and I know I'm appreciated what they did for us.
You cannot have an increase in economy, positive impacts on economy without people. And certainly it is refugees and immigrants who are coming to Buffalo who are helping to keep that population decline steady, at least, if not keep it from a decline to an incline.